First, I want to say thank you to our principals who make Berkeley Schools Volunteers happen by giving us access to your amazing staff. A huge thank you to our classroom teachers, without whom Berkeley Schools Volunteers would never exist in the first place. And they facilitate the relationship building that allows for students to get the support they need. Our volunteers are everywhere across the district. They're in our preschools, they're in primary classrooms supporting emerging readers, they're supporting math and writing in upper elementary into middle school. We've got computer science volunteers, Spanish volunteers, African American studies volunteers. They go all the way up to the adult school. We're incredibly proud of the volunteers, the diversity that they bring. I'm humbled by the dedication and the service of our veteran volunteers. You know who you are. You show up every week, sometimes every day, to the same classrooms. You go to a classroom where everyone knows your name, where you've really become an institution. This year, I was delighted and pleasantly surprised to see so many new volunteers join our ranks. Our new volunteers were a very diverse bunch. They brought with them a very strong equity lens and a lot of professional skills that we were able to quickly put to work in our classrooms. And indeed, this was a huge year for Berkeley Schools Volunteers. We redesigned the whole program last spring and relaunched as a learning community. Our volunteers have become part of the fabric of the classrooms and the fabric of this district. I can't thank you enough for choosing to spend your free time supporting kids, supporting teachers, keeping us all pointed in the right direction. Thank you for bringing your community passions and your skills, your experience and maturity into our classrooms. Go Volunteers! Yay, BSV! I love volunteers!
Me gusta mucho ir a las clases a hacer voluntariado, especialmente con la señora Patterson. Siento que hay un muy buen ambiente y que puedo ayudar a cómo los niños, a que los niños aprendan mejor. Y solo que ellos escuchen mi acento es muy bueno para ellos para mejorar su comprensión en los diferentes dialectos que el español pueda tener de los diferentes países. Me gusta mucho hacer el voluntariado porque me siento bien ayudando a los niños a mejorar su español y realmente me gusta mucho ayudar a los niños, especialmente en los que están en el middle school, porque me gusta mucho esa edad. No están ni en adolescencia ni son niños, están en una edad en la que pueden absorber toda la información y aprender.
Hi, my name is Alondra. I am a junior in high school and I volunteered at Thousand Oaks. I do remember being taught by BSV volunteers as a kid. It's one of the most important memories I have as a kid, having people come to my school and help me with my homework and help me advocate for myself and ask questions. And that's kind of why I wanted to be a volunteer as well. I think it's really important for volunteers to be in communities so that children feel that they have someone who cares about them and they have someone who they can go and ask help for when it comes to homework questions or just any type of educational questions. That's what really attracted me towards becoming a volunteer. I think they're more comfortable asking me questions and they're comfortable with not knowing something and allowing me to explain it to them because they see me as not another teacher, but more as a friend who can help you. I think that volunteering, specifically with children, really helps you learn as well on how the world works. And children have such a unique way of seeing things, and it really helps you also get a new perspective or a reminder of what child imagination really is.
My name is Bobby Smith. I've been a volunteer in Berkeley Unified School District for more than 8 years now. I'm a retired scientist. I work for the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. When you're a kid, you are a scientist. You are a natural scientist. And you're a natural mathematician, and you're a natural all kinds of things. So being able to be there and excite that, the opportunity to maybe be a model for girls maybe to be a model. Growing up, I didn't have those models. Not only did girls not do science, they didn't do any advanced degrees whatsoever. And I was told in high school that girls did not do science. Well, that pissed me off. So I knew when I was 12 that I was going to do science. And I knew I wanted to be a scientist. And even though there weren't models for me, that was a point at which I said to myself, when I have time, when I can be a model, then I want to be a model.
So having volunteers in a classroom has multiple advantages to the teacher. First of all, having another person in the room who can just help manage the logistics of a classroom, be it handing out papers or helping out in small groups or working one-on-one with a student who needs extra support, is invaluable when you're trying to herd 25 or more people. Potentially even more importantly though, is that students have another person to build trust with, which the research shows absolutely robustly is the one thing that makes people learn. Having the sense that what if they don't learn matters to someone. The research is very strong on that. And having another person who the student can trust cares whether they do or don't learn something exponentially increases the likelihood that they do learn something. So having that volunteer who also is oftentimes more of a near peer experience, someone who's not in a position to grade me, is incredibly likely to build trust. It's a qualitatively different experience from the student end, being taught the exact same skill by a volunteer or by a teacher.
Although a good teacher is able to handle a class of 25 or 30 students on their own, those 25 or 30 students are all individuals. They are all different. There's some commonality, of course, but they all come from they've had a different experience that morning, or have a different understanding of the content and have a different social interaction style and need within that classroom. And so, given that there's 25 or 30 individuals, just to think that one person can meet all their needs at one time is sort of magical thinking. And so if you can have a second pair of hands and often a second pair of eyes, both to help those one more or two more or three or four or five more of those individual students, it's a wonderful thing.
My name is Rosa Moreno. I'm a third grade teacher and I work for Rosa Parks. So I have Miss Gail, and I've been having Miss Gail this is her 4th year with me. So she started with me from the very beginning. And she really likes coming back, and I really like Miss Gail. When Miss Gail usually comes into the classroom, it's usually like in September or late September. So I've already built a relationship with my kids. And when I see Miss Gail, I'm excited to see her. So I love hugs. I love being super affectionate. So I go, oh, Miss Gail, and I hug her, and they know that we have this relationship. And I always say, oh, this is an amazing mentor, and I've been working with her for this many years. So the kids already are like, oh, I want to go work with Miss Gail. So, they're excited, and I already have my small group that she's going to be working with. So that's how I feel that having a consistent mentor has helped me a lot, and it's helped my kids.
Hi everybody, I'm Jana Holmes. I'm principal at Emerson Elementary School in Berkeley. One thing that's really great about the program with Berkeley School Volunteers is that all the volunteers also go through an equity training, which is super important to help make sure that everyone is is prepared to work with our diverse population that we have in our schools. And so we have several volunteers on the campus that are really integral in the classroom, and to be honest, outside the classroom too, just in general with the school community. Volunteers that we have that come to the campus, they really set a positive example for students and they inspire students. So when you have someone who's coming to the school that doesn't have to be there, that really takes the time to get to know you, to listen to you, the students get so excited to connect with that person and to have that individual time with someone through a busy day. You know, the teachers are amazing, they do so much, but they have a lot of kids that they're interacting with. So when you have a volunteer who can work with a smaller group of students and really give that targeted time, you are breaking down barriers and you are helping students connect with adults of different backgrounds and different cultures, ethnicities, and when the volunteer works with students from different cultures, ethnicities, that gives back to the volunteer as well. So it's really a two-way street. It just helps us young, old, intergenerational, various cultures. And then once they start working with the children, it's just such a beautiful thing that it just all unfurls with the support that really they're able to give each other.
I'm Janet Levinson, and I am the principal of King Middle School. There are so many benefits to having volunteers in our classrooms. I'll start with the teachers. The teachers love to have any other people to help them because our teachers are really, really dedicated and want to serve the vast range of needs in any single classroom, and it's not humanly possible to do the task, to do it the way they want to do it. They have very high standards. And any volunteer who comes in can immediately work to support the teacher, to support the students. And I would also say it's a benefit to kids. Middle schoolers at this age act as if they don't want any connections to adults. And it's probably somewhat true with their parents, but they actually thrive and are really hungry for human connection that they don't initiate. So when we have volunteers, it's really lovely to see the kids connecting with other adults and engaging with them and learning from them. They need a lot of role models at this age. So from the student perspective, the more adults we have making contact with them, the more it helps them to grow and to learn in all the ways that aren't academic.